Good afternoon, my name is Jacob Folger. I'm an artist sculptor, and today we're going to make a dog out of clay, and we're using air dry or self-hardening clay. This is Marblex brand, and if you look in the video description down below the video, I'll have a tool and supply list, and it'll tell you everything that we'll be using today and the names and all that. Now we're starting off with the shape of a ball of clay, and then start rolling it into a ball just to kind of prep it for us. And then roll a little bit more, trying to get the imperfections out of the surface like that there. And then we can put our hands down kind of low there and roll it, and this will form the neck. We're working on the head right now. We want to kind of form a neck to work from. Now I'm going to start pulling out the shape of the nose. Kind of shaping it with my thumb mostly. This is where the eyes are going to go here. This could be a dog or a puppy. We're going to take a little bit more clay and just add it on here, kind of broadening the nose. Trying to get a shape kind of like that. Now one thing you want to do when you get ready to buy your clay is open the box and just press into the plastic that's surrounding the clay and make sure it's soft, because it can dry out on the shelf in the store, and then you get it home and it's not any good. So you want to make sure it's soft before you buy it. So I'm just shaping now. Now I'm going to take a little ball of clay and shape it kind of almost a triangle, and this is going to be for the nose. And then put it on the end of the snoot there, and blend it in. Just using my thumb to draw the clay from the part I just added. Now we're going to take a little bit of clay, roll it into a cone shape. Kind of flatten it out a little bit and put it down under the jaw there, where the jaw would be. And that's going to be the lower jaw. and take a sculpting tool and sculpt it in. A little bit like that. This is just a pretty typical sculpting tool. You can find them online. You can find them in art stores, craft stores. This is a really good shape, this one here, to use. Now we're going to take, pardon me, we're going to take a little noodle of clay, maybe a little bit more there. And roll it into noodle. And put it going around the nose. Like that. And blend it in. And that's for the upper lip. Just kind of shape it in there. And take the sculpting tool and go around the nose with it. And you can cut it in on the bottom. Kind of open the mouth a little bit. Kind of like that. And then this is another sculpting tool that I use a lot. The middle of the lip right here has a split in it on a dog. We'll just put split in there. You can take the back end of a paintbrush and put in nose holes. And then there's a little split that comes off the end of the nostril, the nose holes, right here. Like that. Now we're going to start the eyes. Just touch this up a little bit. We're going to take a ball tool like this and make an indentation here for the eye socket. So it looks like that. and then roll a ball of clay to go inside of it. Make sure it fits really good, not really bulging out like that. And once you've got one, you can set it down on the table and roll another one the same size. That's a little bit big. That might be about right. Let's see. Okay. And then you can take a smaller ball tool like this and put pupils in the eyes. Whoops. If you turn the tool like that, it won't create suction. It'll be easier to pull it out once you put it in there. Kind of like that. Then we'll take a piece of clay, a small piece of clay, and roll a noodle. And put it over the pupil of the eye that we just put in. And blend it in at the top. I have a spray bottle here with water in it. I'm just going to wet my clay a little bit. And then make another eyelid. It's a little bit too big. Whoops. And then blend that into the top of the head. Now, so he doesn't look so surprised, you can take your ball tool and press in to bring the pupil up underneath the eyelid, like that. I'm just going to blend this in here. There we go. Now we're going to take another noodle of clay and make the eyebrow. Blend that in the top. Get another piece and do the other side. If you feel like the clay is drying out on you, you can always give it a spritz of water. Now, at the top of the nose here, there's a lot, the hair kind of splits there. So I like to put a line in there. And at the top of the head here, there's a little indentation that goes back over the back of the head. And you can do that with a tool like this or your thumb. And that's what we have so far. Now we're going to set that aside and start working on the body. Start shaping it, rolling it. This is going to be for basically the torso of the body. I like to work on something flat that I can move around. Here I'm using a piece of cardboard, and you can use a piece of wood. Now we want to set the head on the trunk of the body here and just make sure it's about the right size for the head. And then this is really important. You want to score the parts to be joined. Both parts, the neck and the top of the body. And this, just to give you a visual on that, will cause the clay to mesh together when you put it, when you put the head on. And then you wet both parts. And twist it into place. Then you can blend the parts together. You can take a little bit of clay and add it to make the blending easier. And we can add some clay on the back here and just kind of build it out a little bit. Just want to keep my clay moist. I'm going to build this, the back out a little bit. You can have like a a damp washcloth nearby to clean this clay off your fingers when you're working, just in case the clay starts to build up on your fingers, like they were for me there. Just want to blend the eyebrow back in a little bit better up there. Now what I like to do is add a little bit of a chest on him, so I roll a ball of clay, roll it into kind of a shape like that, and blend it in. Looks like a strong boy. Now I'm going to take a ball of clay for the hip, for his hip. I'm going to roll that into a ball. Make sure it's sized about right. I want to make sure it's sized about right so that looks pretty good. Then I'm going to roll another ball the same size. A little bit more clay on that one. This clay comes in 5 pounds and I believe 25 pounds. You can get it at most art supply stores and craft stores. Now you want to flatten these a little bit, and then the part that joins the back of the body, you want to kind of make it pie shaped, so it's round like this, but it's pie shaped. See? So it's going to go on like this. Before you join it, you want to go ahead and score it so it meshes with the other part, the body. And wet it. And then blend it in. Like that. And you can take your sculpting tool and blend it in here also. Cut it in. And then do the same with the other side. So you roll a ball, press it somewhat flat like that, not too flat but just a little bit, and then make it pie shaped so that the top view is pie shaped, kind of like that. Score it. Score it here. Wet both parts and then put it on and blend it in. And then you can take your sculpting tool and cut it in on the front. Just kind of pull it in tight there like that. And you can take a ball of clay, and you're going to make the front legs now. And then now we're adding the front leg. Before we put it on all the way, we want to score it. Wet it. Blend it in. And then make another one. Just rolling a noodle of clay. Just put it in there where it's going to go. Pull it away, score it, wet it, and join it, and blend it in. Take a sculpting tool and blend it into the chest, side of the chest. Just kind of forming it a little bit here. You can take the sculpting tool and blend it in here. Just makes it sturdier when it's finished. Then you can take 2 balls of clay about the same size, maybe a little bit more on there. This is going to be for his feet. Get them positioned and then score them. Wet them. Put them on. Blend them in. Then you can pick it up, and underneath you want to blend it in, all the parts that you joined. So it'll be stronger. And then you can make the back legs, ball of clay, put that there, another piece here for the other foot, and then you want to score them. Wet them. Pick it up and blend it in. Turn it around. Kind of smoothing this out a little bit. Take a piece of clay. I'm going to start working on the tail. Roll it into a ball. I'm just going to go like that. Score it. Score where it's going to join. Wet it. Blend it in, and then take a sculpting tool and just cut it in. Pick it up and blend the tail in at the bottom. Go. Maybe curve it up a little bit, like that. So it looks like that. Now I'll bring it forward here a little bit. And we're going to make his ears. Roll the ball of clay. Make another one the same size. A little bit more clay on that one. roll it into a cone shape like this. I'm going to clean my hands real quick. There we go. So you get a cone shape, flatten it out a little bit. See where it's going to go. And then score it. Wet it. Blend it in. And take a sculpting tool and blend it in the front. At the other ear ready, roll it into a cone like this. Put it on and see the positioning, make sure it's right. And take it off and score it. Wet it. Put it on. Now I like to flop one ear over, or even both ears a little bit. And maybe tilt his head a little bit so it looks curious. Okay. Now you can take a paintbrush, like about this size or so. I have some water off to the side. I just put it in the water and then squeeze off the excess. And I can go over and brush it and get it nice and smooth. There's a little bit of pigment on this one and it's got purple on it. Sorry about that. Just clean it off here. Now when you're smoothing, I'm going to show you a few tips. It's best not to get it soaking wet. Just kind of keep the brush damp, because it actually works better because there's more resistance when you're doing it. I'll show you that. And then when you're putting it in the cup, you can stab it into the bottom of the cup to get the clay off the brush, like this. And then take your fingers like this and just wring it off. couple of things you want to watch for is around the eyes. You have to be really careful not to damage the eyes with water. So just be really careful so you don't have to go back and do the eyes over again. I'm sorry about that. Just be very careful around the eyes especially. Make sure there's definitely not a lot of water on the brush when you're going around the eyes. And just take your time and go around and smooth it. It's actually kind of a peaceful, meditative thing. It's enjoyable. Just take your time. And that's how you make a dog in self-hardening or air-dry clay. It's the same thing really, but some people call it self-hardening clay and some people call it air-dry clay, but it's the same thing basically. Marblex is the brand I use. I really like it. It's very easy to work with, and that's how it's done. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel. I do many videos along these lines. Please give the video a thumbs up. Let me know what you think about it. Leave me a comment, share it with your friends. One last thing is just let it dry for about 3 days, and then you can paint it and finish it any way you like. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.